I'm Matt Corby, CEO of Greyhound Racing SA. Greyhound Racing SA has a very firm commitment to animal welfare, and that's a big part of the reason why we're here today. Welfare stretches beyond just our rehoming program. It goes to other issues like education of participants, which we've rolled out, and also to investing in national research around track design and safety. But the jewel in our crown is about the rehoming program that we've established through GAP, through GRSA, to ensure that all of our racing greyhounds or unraced greyhounds go from the track to a home, and that's the most important thing to us. We've invested a lot in that program. This year, Greyhound Racing SA will spend more than $1.5 million on welfare initiatives. To give you a sense of the scale of the GAP program, at any one time it involves more than 100 foster carers. We're about to go into our second prison at Mobilong, where they'll have 16 bays and prisoners looking after those dogs to foster care them into their new home. That's a massive program, and that's all underpinned by a board that has an unconditional commitment to animal welfare and making the investment and the resources and the programs that make all of that possible. So we're really pleased with where we've got to with our industry. We're like Ollie Wines and Port Adelaide Football Club, we're a national leader and we're national #1 in that space. Now gives me great pleasure. We're excited today in GAP's 20th year of operation. We're really pleased. It's an exciting time of year for Port Adelaide Football Club and Ollie Wines, but it's also a very exciting time for us because we're announcing Ollie Wines as coming on board with GAP as our new GAP ambassador, and I think he's just a perfect fit for the role. His courage and tenacity and leadership on the field are the sort of qualities that will make him such an attribute to the program, and getting our message out to the broader community about what we do around rehoming and about the extent to which racing in the modern era is all about breeding, racing and rehoming, and we do that better than anyone. I'd like to now hand over to Ollie Wines on that note. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah, no, it's exciting to be involved in the GAP program. Myself, I've had a small involvement in greyhound racing. We've had a dog here at the club, and I guess this program and what it does for retired and not just race greyhounds, but greyhounds in general is really good, and really excited to be a part of it. So exciting going forward.
You got a dog, Ollie, or are you
not at the moment. We did a while ago, and it's really good fun. We got out there each Thursday night and had a lot of fun with it, and obviously Ken's into his greyhounds as well, so it's a really exciting sport. And I guess this side of it probably goes unnoticed a little bit by the public, how much Greyhound SA does to rehome these dogs and give them lives after racing, so it's really exciting.
The dog itself, could you pick a breed any further away from your style on the football field?
It's a bit different shape, isn't it? They're very slight dogs, but look, they probably get a bit of a bad name as being, people think they're not the nicest dog to have around at home, but they're really couch potatoes. They real chilled out dogs and really good family pets.
Where did the passion come from, Ollie? Was it just the fact you had an association for a little while with the dog?
Yeah, I think so. And look, animal welfare is really high on my agenda, and I've always grown up with pets and had animals along the way. So to see them get looked after, like humans get looked after, it's really important.
Speaking of being looked after, 7-8 days away now from the big game. How's your body going and the rest of the boys?
Yeah, I've really needed the week off. Like a lot of us, our first bye wasn't. It was after the Shanghai game, which was round 8, I think. So it's been something like 15 weeks without a rest, and the boys were getting pretty tired. And I think just to have this spell, a couple of days off, freshen up, your body gets a lot out of it. So really excited now.
What's it done for you mentally?
Mentally, it's probably more so the weather at the moment. You wake up in the morning, you see this weather, you know you're playing finals footy. We've got a massive opportunity to being able to rock up to work each day still. There's 10 clubs that are finished up for the year, and we're lucky enough to have the opportunity to keep playing. So mentally, we're very fresh. You've got to be excited this time of year.
Considering you had 2 years where you weren't waking up as a to come to work, how does it feel this time around?
Oh, over the moon. I think I took for granted probably my first couple of years playing finals and going deep into finals, and to have 2 years off and see other clubs go and do things, see the Bulldogs story last year. really motivates you to want to play finals. I think you don't miss it as much until you miss out on it. And we've had 2 years where we've missed out on it. We've got an opportunity now to play our first final and keep our September run going. So we're going to do everything we can.
That story of the Dogs, a bit of the theme today, but the story of the Dogs last year, does it give you a bit of extra hope going into a finals, whereas in years past everyone was sort of top 4 or nothing?
Yeah, it certainly does, and I think this year particularly has been so close amongst the top 8. Obviously there's been some dominant teams, Crows and probably GWS to a point, but I think this time of year it's very even. Everyone's upsetting everyone, and as you said, last year the Bulldogs win it from, they finish 8th or 7th, something like that, so anyone can win it. You don't need that second chance necessarily. You can win it from coming 8th.
Ollie, considering the way West Coast has played you at Adelaide Oval, is there a fair bit of learning that the midfield's got to do about how you actually play Adelaide Oval against West Coast?
Yeah, for sure, and I think that was a bit of a turning point for our season this year. After that game, we felt as though we're in the game at all times and controlled it. Look, our efficiency going inside 50 just wasn't there that day, and that probably triggered a lot of changes for us going forward. That sort of opened our eyes to how we had to go inside 50 to our tools. Charlie, Robbie, Chatty down there. We've had to change the way we do it, and we think we've improved it. It's always an ongoing process. Look, we've gone over today again, our inside in 50 entries, so we just got to execute now.
And how much of a blow with Jack obviously being ruled out with hip surgery, just tough for him as well?
Yeah, for sure. Homer, really hurting for him. He's had a bit of a difficult year struggling with that hip surgery, and it's probably just good he's probably glad in a way that he'll get it fixed up once and for all. It's probably been going on for a fair while, and to finally get it fixed up and know that he can start pre-season from day one and prepare for next year is really good for him, but obviously incredible loss for our backline.
Where do you see the bonus of the Magpies playing tonight?
It's massive for us to have all 44 guys playing each week at this time of year. The competition for spots remains open. Guys have got an opportunity to play well tomorrow to perhaps open themselves to a spot for the elimination final next week. So it's really exciting for the club. It's the Magpies reserves, really healthy in all 3 grades at the moment, so can only promote good form.
Well, as a youngster, obviously Sammy Palmpepper's had a ripping year. Is there a chance for the rising star?
Yeah, he's had an unreal year. I think from my perspective, there's been no player that's had more of an impact on their team this year. He wins the ball, he's tough, he kicks goals, which not a lot of first-year players can do. So, in my eyes, he should win it, but I'm probably a little bit biased.
Ollie, what's your advice to young players on the side, getting ready for their first finals campaign? Obviously what you've done before in the past.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that as of yet. Obviously, we've got a fair few young guys in the team at the moment, and I think they're pretty eager to play some finals footy. I think nothing too much has to change. A lot of people talk it up as being real contested and tough games, and that's probably the one thing they've got to think about. It does go up another level. You talk about levels in AFL footy going from the pre-season to season, and then it steps up another for the finals. So just not taking the opportunity for granted and taking it as it comes.
So how do you keep it regular for the young guys then, given it's one slip up and your season's over? How do the guys that haven't had as much experience go into the game, staying calm and executing?
Look, just encourage them to keep doing what they're doing. They're in the team for a reason, and their job's not to go set the world on fire. They don't have to win the game off their own boot. We try to base our team around being 22 contributors, all just playing their role and no one having to stand out. So I guess as long as they understand their role and what they've got to do for the team, and as long as they can play it, that'll go a long way towards winning games.
Does it change the mentality of the leaders?
What's
Does
that?
it change the mentality of the leaders then, I suppose, given that you probably have to stand up, given it's an elimination?
Yeah, there's a little bit more responsibility. I think, as I said before, we've just got to be the best at playing our role, and the other guys feed off that. So as long as we can get our job done and then lead the other guys and direct what they're doing, I think we'll be on the right track.
Is it strange for you personally how quickly you've sort of been forced to grow up, and we're talking about you mentoring younger blokes, and you're hardly an old bloke yourself?
Yeah, a little bit. I've sort of had to wrestle with that a little bit during the year. At times thinking, am I old enough or mature enough to sort of be directing young guys like that? Only 22 myself, so sometimes I look at these guys a couple of years younger than me and think that I've got to be something I'm not. But I do a lot of work with Vossi in that space, and just understanding my responsibilities and the experience I've got under my belt and what I can do for the team.